It feels like every movie has an epic action scene these days. So what makes an action scene stand out? Welcome back, and if you're new here, my name is Rob Macfarlane and I'm a director and filmmaker just like you. I take your favourite film and TV and analyse just how the best filmmakers in the world do it. A classic situation for a lot of fight sequences is where the story restricts the space for the fight to take place. This is a brilliant technique to really up the ante for any fight sequence. Moving or still, this has fantastic potential to be a brilliant space to have any sort of action scene. It has enough space and objects and things to get in the way to really get creative with your action. The audience knows in such a tight space, how can the hero possibly avoid every single punch? Now, obviously in your film you may not have a bus, so when choosing your restricted space, try and choose something that makes sense for your story, but also restricts your particular character's strength. This brilliant moment from Captain America is one of my favourite action scenes, not because it's the most epic and cool, but it's absolutely electric because Captain America can't use one of his major weapons that he always uses. A lot of martial arts films also add an extra element to this by putting action scenes within environments and spaces that add a lot of props, a lot of potential weapons to the fray. This can really spice things up and add a lot of variety to your scenes, to your action sequences, rather than just being a punch-up. On a side note, if you are a filmmaker, storyteller or director, don't forget to check out my Cinematic Language 101 guide down below or up above. Cheers. And we're back. Stakes are the single most important concept I really hope you take away from today's episode. And I don't necessarily mean that if they lose the fight, they die. I mean to go one step further than that. Take this scene for example from Nobody. The filmmakers didn't just leave it at, well, if he loses this fight, he'll be really hurt and injured.
This girl's gonna get home safe tonight.
So when adding stakes into your next action scene, really analyse your character. What is their moral compass and what are they really willing to fight for? And this really nicely segues into my next section. Character desire! Imbue your character with a very specific desire, not just to survive. She falls off. So each action sequence should have a personal goal embedded within it, and if it doesn't, it should create a new goal.
Give me the goddamn kitty cat bracelet, motherfucker!
Nobody is a masterclass in creating a really embedded desire in the character to motivate our fight sequences. Take this character for example. In this sequence, we're presented with a character who's leading a very normal, albeit mundane life. The way this montage is built, showing each day and the repetition, we start to understand that he's not leading a very fulfilling life. So it's very surprising to us to then see this character in a really surprising turn have an explosion of violence, akin to the violent explosion in Fight Club, where the characters found violence as a form of expression for their pent-up emotions.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
Well, in Nobody, they built a character that's repressed their violent tendencies. So it's just a matter of time for that pressure cooker to explode, and we get to see that in a really, really fun and cathartic way. The key to this technique is to find something that this character really cares about, and then put that thing in jeopardy, whether it be something that is morally correct, an object, or a loved one, and then put that character in a position where they themselves can move into action. This is super important. Make sure that your character actually moves into action themselves. They're not shoved into action. One is making your character very submissive, very reactive, and that's not very satisfying.
You're alive. Too bad you will die.
Whereas the other is where the character is proactive, and we want to see characters that are proactive. Those characters are more interesting to watch.
I've got a plan.
You got a fucking plan. Listen, Hutch, I'm not coming out of hiding to save your white ass.
Now, I know what you're all thinking. This is obviously very easy if you have a very physical protagonist. So what happens if you have a really passive character? Well, make sure you've given them a desire, a value that means so much to them, that they are willing to fight for it in their own specific way. It doesn't always have to be a massive, hugely impressive punch up with kicks and flying things and explosions. Sometimes the most important, the most impressive fight sequences are where the character is not a superhuman, but they're willing to put themselves on the line for their desire, for the thing that means that much to them. The key here, ask, how much does this matter to your character? How much are they willing to put on the line? And if they're really not willing to put their personal safety, or even more, their pride on the line, then maybe you need to up how much that means to them. Wow, you made it all the way to the end of the episode. You must have really enjoyed it. So, share it with someone else who you think might really enjoy it too. Thank you.